Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we've got two publications from Justin Marriott, Paperbacks at War, which is looking at classic war fiction throughout the ages, 170 books that have been reviewed and rated, and also this one, which is Battling Britons, which takes a look and reviews classic British war comics. So these are packed with great stuff, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy looking through it. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. This is one of two new fanzines recently published by Justin Marriott. It takes a look at classic war fiction novels set during the 20th century. I have tended to read mostly non-fiction when it comes to these sorts of books, First and Second World War prison escapes and the like. I'm a huge fan of Colditz and have collected items related to that for years. I've always loved those sorts of books. Certainly I have dipped my toe into this genre, but like Justin's earlier Hot Lead All Reviewed special, this volume is the perfect primer for you to discover something new and maybe avoid the odd turkey and even find a new gem. With over 170 reviews packed between the covers, you're certain to find something. I actually made a list of titles I now want to read as I worked my way through. Reviews are sorted A to Z by title, with over 25 different reviewers bringing their combined knowledge of the genre into this volume. Books are rated on a 1 to 5 grenade scale, with a 5 grenade review being the absolute best of the best. As well as novels, classic comics and graphic novels are also reviewed. Indeed, my contribution to this one was a look at my favourite First World War comic, Charlie's War Volume 1, which has been published by Rebellion. There's just so much in here to tempt, really well illustrated throughout with numerous cover reproductions. I really like the way the comics are illustrated, with a key piece from the strip reproduced to accompany the review. Towards the end is a longer piece by Justin Marriott, where he takes a more detailed look at the works of Sven Hassel and Leo Kessler and their like, which was becoming a bit of a publishing phenomenon, at least in the UK, in the late 70s and early 80s. To round out the book is a cover gallery, where even more examples of great cover artwork is on display. In summary, it's an excellent look at an underappreciated area of the paperback market. Now I'll just pause here to thank my Patreon and channel membership supporters. You guys really do rock, and your support is very much appreciated. The next book we're looking at today is Battling Britons, and it's a follow-up to the first volume released earlier this year, which, if it sells, will be published on a regular basis going forward. These are slightly longer looks at various aspects of British war comics that have been released over the years. This one only cost £5 and keeps the grenade scoring system. For starters, a bit of a what's happening in the world of war comics, with some recent online coverage via YouTube, as well as recent sales of runs of comics and original art, as well as other fanzines. I really loved this part, it was right up my alley. Next up is a collector's profile, which this issue is on contributor Phil Cross. Then onto the first feature by Jim O'Brien, who takes a look at pocket-sized books with the words "or die" in the title. I'm often asked if I collect or collected old Commando pocketbooks, and I did have a run from about issue 30 up to about issue 2,500. It was pretty epic and awesome. The bulk of these were mint and unread copies, but they just took up too much room, so I let them go. I mean, you can't keep them all. I do remember picking up a run in on a trip to Notting Hill, and they were owned by a school caretaker who bought them religiously over the years, literally for about 20 years, and they were just in phenomenal condition, just amazing. Anyway, then Justin then starts his mini reviews of pocket library titles from their vast history. These sound so amazing, but might take a bit of tracking down the individual issues online. Next, there's a detailed look at artist Cam Kennedy's work in Commando and similar comics. Now, I really like this artist from his Judge Dredd and later Star Wars artwork, but I didn't know a lot about this period of his career, so I found it really interesting. He's so underrated. Steve Mile takes a look at some aerial picture stories, and we can sometimes forget about these aerial adventures, same for stories set at sea. Then we have a look at classic Marvel comics that were set during the Vietnam War. Now, this only goes up to Marvel comics published up to about 1975, so I'm very much looking forward to later issues, not least of which the superb Nam comic, which was published monthly for 8 years in line with the actual war, with each issue progressing the war another 30 days in real time. It's a real favourite of mine. American author James Reisner then reviews some of the more recent Commando issues. It's great to see the quality has continued. I once contemplated having a stab at writing some of these myself many years ago. I just found it a bit restrictive not being able to write anything past the Falklands War. The cover shows classic battle strip Johnny Red, and this is accompanied by an in-depth article inside which includes interviews with both Garth Ennis and Keith Burns on resurrecting the character. A funny feature next by Justin on elephants in comics. Who knew there could be so many? Brent Towns, author of over 25 issues of Commando, is interviewed. This is a fascinating look behind the scenes of the writing process, brings back many memories of when I was trying my hand at this unique comics medium. There is an interesting reprint of an article first printed in the Observer magazine back in 1972, looking at Fleetway's pocketbook range. Then, a look at True War, the short-lived Fleetway comic and photo magazine. I had no idea this had even existed. Then, to wrap things up, Justin looks at Suicide Squads in the comics. At just under 100 pages and only £5 to buy, this really does represent tremendous value. Both of these come with my highest recommendation. I've popped direct links to both magazines to purchase on Amazon in the description down below. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, do please hit the subscribe button, and if you'd like to see more, check out the videos on screen now. Thanks for watching today. Bye.